Hello, YouTube. This Keith Kevin Kent. How you doing? How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Time again for another knife of the day. Today, we're going to take a look at the brand new Chris Reeve small Sebenza 31s. We've been talking about waiting for the Chris Reeve Sebenza 31s. They announced them a year or two ago. They're in production. It took them a long time to get these things into dealers' hands. And now, because of one of you guys who caught me on my Instagram and said, hey, True North Knives, you said you can't find any new wooden inlays for a Sebenza. I just was on True North Knives, and they have a couple left. So I went there that night and bought these two. Actually, I went there and bought 4 different knives. I also got 2 new Menundes. But I've been waiting for this. I did a video on a large Sebenza 31, and that had the micarta inlay. So I've been seeing a lot of micarta inlays everywhere, and not a lot of the wooden ones. And I was so happy to get these. And I wanted some small Sebenza 31s because I didn't have them. So I have them now. I want to talk to you about them. We'll show you the difference between the Sebenza 21, small Sebenza 21s, etc. So I want to talk about both of those, but I can only handle one at a time. So let's talk about this. I feel that the Chris Reeve Sebenza 31 change is like the Chris Reeve change from Sebenza 25 to Inkosi. You know, Chris Reeve has done a lot of major changes. First, there was the Sebenza, the classic Sebenza, the Sebenza. Then they had the Sebenza 21 with the one forward choil in it. And then on his 25th anniversary, he introduced the Sebenza 25, and that's with the 2 choils. Big change. Big outside change. They never introduced the Sebenza 25, small Sebenza 25. They had a large and small Sebenza 21, but not a 25. They continued running the 21 and the 25. And then a couple of years ago, they updated the 25, discontinued the 25, called it an Inkosi, had some changes. And for me, the biggest change from the 25 to the Inkosi was the introduction of the small Inkosi, which I love. Because I've had a lot of Chris Reeve knives. I'm a huge fan of Chris Reeve knives. But they never had a small Sebenza 25. And so to me, the small Inkosi was a small Sebenza 25. And I have a number of those, and I'm happy to have them. There are videos on those as well on this playlist. Now comes the Sebenza 31. So let's talk about the Sebenza 31. There are a number of changes to Sebenza 31. I'm going to show you the ones that I think are the most significant. The first thing is, it's still a Sebenza. They didn't overdo it. They didn't remodel the knife in a super big way. Okay? But they did make some changes that you can see. This is a small Sebenza 21. All right. The big thing they did was this hole right there. That's a machining hole. They used that in the manufacturing of it. If you look at all the Sebenza 21s, the large or small, you'll see that. That no longer appears in the front. You see that? Big change. Another change is the change they did with the Inkosi. And that is, for years, all of the Sebenzas, their clip was parallel to the lock bar. You see that? With the Inkosi, they moved the clip off of the lock bar tilted it off the lock bar. On the Sebenza 31s, large and small, they did the same thing. They also did something with the lock pin that I'm not that familiar with. So I'm sure someone in the comments can help me with that. But I think those are the two major changes. Now, once you got rid of that hole on the front, you gain some, right? You gain some territory here. Since they started doing inlays, they always had this situation with an inlay. 2 inlays on the show side, 1 on the lock side, on top of polished titanium. Now they didn't have that hole to deal with. And so what they did was they changed how the inlay looked. And to me, I couldn't wait to get an inlay, especially the wood inlays, because to me that's a significant change from the 21. Now they used to do, before I started collecting knives, and I see those around, they used to have a yearly Sebenza released every year with a new wood inlay. And it looked like this. And they would have the year on it, 2001, 2002, right up here on the titanium. So they took their design from that annual release they used to have, and this is now the new look of the inlay. And I really like it. I had to get a box elder Burl inlay. I just think it's so classy. And so now I have a large Sebenza 21 in box elder, a small Sebenza 21, a Menunde, and a small Sebenza 31. I like that. I like that big hunk of wood on the show side. The other one I have is, this is bog oak inlay. I love these natural wood inlays. I've always loved them. So here you have it on this space age material, titanium. I love that. So you have this polished tie, and you put the inlays that are natural wood. I've always thought that's great. Now I've been showing the 21. This is this is carbon fiber on top, not natural wood, but I love the natural wood. It's something about that. I love the gold accents as well there and on the bottom. Turn it over, it still only has one inlay on the lock side, and I love when they do this. He did it on the 21s. He does it now where he keeps the lock bar on the frame lock titanium and not polished. It just is a great matchup, I think, with all the fancy polished titanium and the fancy wood inlays, and then just to keep the work part of it not polished. I like that. Of course, the clip off the lock bar, and of course, with all Chris Reeve knives, you guys know, unlike where we see with Spyderco and other folks, they don't have a clip that you can move into 4 different places. With Chris Reeve, you get a right-handed knife or a left-handed knife. You don't get a knife that you can change the clip from righty to lefty. These are right-handed clips, all tip up. They are selling left-handeds. So if you're a lefty, you have to buy a left-handed Chris Reeve knife, and it's always tip up. So the blade, the size is 2.98 inches. Usually I always round up. They wanted you to know, actually it's 2.99 inches. Just a 1/10 of an inch below that 3-inch line that some of us have to worry about, right? For the blade. So it's under 3 inches, but just a smidgen. The total length of the blade is 7 inches. And with the inlays, the weight is 2.7 ounces. 2.7 ounces. Yeah, they don't line up when you set them down as nice as I would like because of those clips not being parallel. I want to compare this to a large Sebenza 31. This is the plain Jane version. You can see, again, if you pick up one, you can always tell it's 31. No hole on the front. And of course, the clip off of the lock bar. And I thought it'd be nice to compare it to a Manundi as well. There you have it. The knife of the day is 2 knives. The Chris Reeve Small Sebenza 31 with a box elder Burl inlay and the bog oak inlay. You see the changes, but it is just a wonderful thing. I think the biggest change to 31 for me are the inlays. That big hunk of wood. I can't wait until they get carbon fiber. I think it'd be just great. I love the callback to the older knives from the, I think they were yearly, not monthly. Yeah, the yearly Sebenzas, special Sebenzas that were released. I just love it all. So there you have it. I got a notification from Spyderco. I'm expecting 2 new knives sometime in the next 2 days or so. Both knives are very nice knives. I'm sure you guys will be interested in. One is a variation, but a very special variation. And the other is a brand new, well, both of them are new variations. But one of them is practically a new knife. So I'm excited to show those to you. I hope you guys are taking good care of yourselves. I hope you're probably like me, having good days and then some, what's going on in 2020 kind of days. I have those. But whenever I get a new knife in and I know I'm going to share it with you, I feel a lot better. You guys take good care of yourselves, okay? Take good care of your families. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. I appreciate you guys. Have a good one. Keep those pockets full. Goodbye.